goal is to seek justice for Elijah Mcclain, for his family and friends, and for our state.
Some justice for Elijah Mcclain came today in the form of charges for the officers and the paramedics involved in his death.
More than 2 years after Elijah's deadly encounter with Aurora police and paramedics, Colorado's Attorney General Phil Weiser announcing today they are filing charges on the grand jury's recommendation.
9 News crime and justice reporter Matt Jabla was there for the announcement, and he joins us now from outside the AG's office. Matt, the grand jury took about 7 months to reach this decision.
That's right, Kim. The Attorney General said today the grand jury began right around the first of the year and wrapped up just last Thursday. Today, he announced the results. Charges against 2 Aurora cops, 1 now former cop, and 2 paramedics.
We're here today because Elijah Mcclain is not here, and he should be.
Colorado Attorney General Phil Weiser described Elijah Mcclain's death as a loss to all of us as he announced the results of the grand jury investigation into the case.
Our department has the solemn duty to prosecute this case.
A 32-count indictment against Randy Rodema, Nathan Woodyard, and Jason Rosenblatt, the 3 Aurora police officers who put Mcclain in a chokehold, took him to the ground, and handcuffed him behind his back. The top counts, manslaughter and criminally negligent homicide. The same charge is filed against Jeremy Cooper and Peter Chikuniak, the 2 Aurora paramedics who injected Mcclain with the powerful sedative ketamine.
He was a son, a nephew, a brother, and a friend.
3 months after Mcclain died, the Adams County District Attorney declined to file charges in the case, saying the evidence did not support the prosecution of a homicide. Clearly, the grand jury disagreed.
Elijah Mcclain's memory will live on as a blessing to all of us. After his death, Colorado continues to lead on law enforcement accountability.
On a related matter, Weiser also said today that he's still investigating whether the Aurora police and fire departments have shown a pattern over the years of violating people's civil rights. He said the results of that investigation will be released as soon as the investigation is complete. Kim?
All right, that was quite a stunning announcement today. Thank you, Matt. It has been more than 2 years since Elijah Mcclain's death and his run-in with those officers and the paramedics.
Well, that so much has happened since that case started. We want to walk you through how we got here today. Elijah Mcclain was walking home on August 24th of 2019 when he was confronted by police. He never made it home. He was pronounced dead at the hospital 3 days later. In November of 2019, Adams and Broomfield County District Attorney Dave Young said the officers who stopped Mcclain wouldn't face any charges. That might have been the end of the story, were it not for this. As the nation protested the death of George Floyd last June, people in Denver and Aurora revived protests over the killing of Mcclain. On June 25th, Governor Jared Polis put the Attorney General of the state in charge of giving the case a second look. Almost a month later, we learned that AG Phil Weiser's office was also investigating APD's practices for civil rights violations. Weiser says that investigation isn't over yet. And police departments are reacting as well. Reaction coming in from all sides. The Aurora Police Association released this statement today saying in part there is no evidence that APD officers caused his death. It goes as far as to say nothing has changed. Our officers did nothing wrong. The Aurora Police Department saying today the Police Association does not speak for the leadership of the APD or all of its members. Aurora's Police Chief Vanessa Wilson releasing a statement that reads in part, "This tragedy will forever be imprinted on our community. We continue to offer our condolences for the loss of Elijah, and we will continue to cooperate with the judicial process." And Colorado lawmakers also weighing in. Governor Jared Polis saying today that Elijah Mcclain's death was a tragedy and that his thoughts were with his mother, father, friends, and family today. The governor adding this innocent young man should be here today. I thank Attorney General Phil Weiser and the members of the grand jury for their work to hold those responsible accountable. Since Elijah's death, many people assured the family that they would fight for justice, and that included lawmakers.
And one of those was a Colorado State Representative, Leslie Herod, who is behind many bills that passed since Elijah's death. 9 News reporter Darius Johnson has her reaction and why she never expected justice.
We're not divided. We have to be together. We have to be united. Give peace a chance because it really does work.
This day, June 27, 2020, marked a new beginning between Shanine Mcclain and Colorado State Rep. Leslie Herod.
It took courage for her to stand up in one of those first protests, literally when I was speaking, and take the megaphone and say, "Why aren't you fighting for my son?" And I looked at her and I said, "You're right."
Elijah Mcclain's name became a staple in the streets. The hope for his mother was justice from the moment he died in August of 2019. But it's not something everyone expected, including Herod.
I'm never expecting justice to be brought down, to be honest with you.
The first step came Wednesday as a 32-count indictment came down against the 5 who played a role in Elijah's death.
If it wasn't for her work there, we would not be here today. If it wasn't for her commitment to justice, we would not be here today.
Elijah died at 23. Since then, 3 bills were passed, including laws that prevent the use of chokeholds and ketamine, with hopes to prevent this from happening again.
We can't have glee, but what we can have is hope. Hope that change is coming, hope that change is here for Colorado and hopefully across the country, that no mother will have to face this situation ever again.
Herod says this reaffirms her commitment to justice as a Black woman, but there's still more work to be done on a path to reform.
So I think that we need to continue to strengthen the special investigation powers that we have here in Colorado and make sure that there is also citizen oversight.
But this is the first step to a new beginning, the same beginning these 2 women formed more than a year ago.
This is a really powerful day, and if I say that I wasn't emotional, that wouldn't be true. It's a very emotional day. And after speaking with Shanine and really thinking about Elijah and the fact that he had to die for this moment.
Now, you briefly heard Leslie mention at the end her conversation with Shanine early this morning. After that announcement, she describes that conversation as emotional yet somber. We actually had a chance to speak with Shanine within the last few minutes. Here's what she had to say.
I expect prison for my son's murders and their accomplices because that's exactly what they did. They're accessories to a crime. And I don't think it should be anything less than that. They need to be prosecuted to the full extent of the law.
Now, our 9 News anchor Alexandra Lewis sat down with Shanine within the last hour to talk to her about today's announcement. She will have a full story coming up tonight at 9 and 10 rather. But Tom and Kim, I know this doesn't bring her son back, but I hope that Shanine knows that this day came because of her hard work as well as her love for Elijah.
It is still interesting to think of how George Floyd's death seemed to reanimate the interest in this case. And it's sad to think that without it, the interest in this case may never have reached the point where it would have triggered this investigation.
Definitely interesting to see how everything played out last year when it came down to different incidents that were happening at the hands of police and ultimately causing this to happen right here in Colorado as well, and hopefully bring more change.
And it has made national news just as people finally got to know Elijah's name after those protests. So this grand jury did something that no one expected. And so this is definitely evoking change. Thanks, Darius. We have much more on the charges against the officers and paramedics involved in the death of Elijah Mcclain coming up right here on 9 News and online at 9news.com.
Also want to take you out to I-70 near Glenwood Canyon. The rain out there today, well, that has people's attention. Over the next few days, they are expecting more moisture, and that could mean flash flooding or even mudslides in the burn scar areas across the state. So Denver, well, we're not seeing any moisture yet, but we are still seeing all of that haze. The question is rain coming our way? Kathy Sabin's now with a first look, joining us now with a first look at our weather on this Wednesday. Hi, Kathy.
Hi there. I think before the sun sets, we should see some of that moisture move into the metro area. Anything to clean out the haze, the smoke. You can't really see anything out there today. Air quality alerts posted for ozone and for wildfire smoke. So let's go out. We are watching a weather system move into Colorado along with the remnants of Nora and all of that tropical moisture coming in from the south. southwest. The afternoon cloud cover keeping temperatures a smidge cooler today in the upper 80s for Denver and DIA. Winds right now remain relatively light, and we'll continue to track those. And you know what? The smoke forecast has a lot of that smoke and haze to the north of the area, but it will start to drift back down into Denver as we move through tomorrow evening into Friday. Flash flood watch posted for much of western Colorado as slow-moving storms will be capable of dropping some very heavy rainfall. Scattered light showers are coming off of the foothills, and we do expect some of the heavier rain to come into the Pine Gulch, Burn Scar area, Lake Christine, and also areas in and along Glenwood Canyon, where we are seeing those scattered showers this hour. We do have mostly cloudy skies. We expect some of that precipitation to move over the city here over the next 2 to 3 hours, with temperatures in the mid-80s now, dropping into the 70s by 8 o'clock. And coming up in our main weather segment, the smoke and haze, we've got the forecast for that. There'll be some improvement and then some return of that bad air. Cooler weather is also coming in, and we'll break down that as we head into the upcoming holiday weekend.
Man, you usually have it easy. This is a tough day for you. There's a lot going on.
Yeah, forecasting fun.
All right,
Going
Kathy.
into a holiday weekend, too. So that's
Yeah.
a lot to ask.
September, Labor Day, it's all happening. Kathy's got it all. We'll check with her and get that full forecast coming up in minutes. Thanks, Kath.
Thanks, Kathy. The massive Caldor fire continues to burn in Northern California. Additional evacuations were issued today in Alpine County and across the state line in Douglas County, Nevada. That fire has been burning about 2.5 weeks. In that time, it's burned more than 199,000 acres, more than 300 square miles, destroying hundreds of homes and dozens of commercial properties. It's just 18% contained. Across southeast Louisiana, hundreds of thousands of people are still without power in the wake of Hurricane Ida. Entire communities have been washed away. Others so severely damaged, recovery teams still can't make their way. Those who stayed behind are waiting in long lines for gas and groceries. Food itself is a day-to-day struggle while they wait for the lights to come back on.
It's a Herculean effort that they have to put forth to tie this loop in. Think about it. 9 parishes, 0 power. And they have to do it in a certain way, and there's no other way that they can do it.
The storm may have moved out, but thousands are still evacuating. Students at Xavier University are headed to Dallas, Texas. Others are just looking for any place with power as the recovery efforts in Louisiana are really just beginning.